my channel. This is Prepping by Faith, and today I wanted to share something with you guys. It was an experience that I had at my children's pediatrician office, and I feel like this is a good example of why we really need to know our rights and why we really need to start standing up for ourselves and going ahead and pushing back against the system, because this kind of thing is going to continue to happen, especially to those of us who choose to have a different set of views than what the mainstream narrative is. So I'm just going to share this with you guys. You guys probably don't know this. This isn't something that I have shared before, but I have never vaccinated my children. It's not something that I do, and it's because when my child, my oldest child was younger, she had a reaction to the pertussis vaccine, and they kind of dismissed it, told me it was normal, and I started doing my own research and digging into it, and it was not a normal reaction. And so therefore, as I began my own investigations and my own research as a parent, I decided that I no longer wanted to proceed with any of those. And she has been a really healthy child. She rarely gets ill. My youngest is the same way. And so I keep it that way, and we have been, anti-vax for a long time. Now, I know some of you may not agree with that. I know some of you think that it's okay to have the core ones that aren't involved with the current new renditions and all that sort of thing that's gone down with the whole C-19. But it is something that I decided as a parent, and I feel like it is my right as a parent and my choice. Now, I will not condemn anyone who goes ahead and does any of that. That is completely your choice. And so I feel like we should still have the freedom to make those decisions for our children and for ourselves. So originally I was kicked out of one practice after my daughter had gone there for the first 7 years of her life, because I live in Colorado, and they decided at this practice that we were no longer welcome if we were not going to participate in that program. So I am used to being sort of ostracized for this, pushed out in certain situations. There are certain people that, don't want your children around their children and that whole bit because of this. So when this whole C-19 movement came along and everybody started realizing the level of discrimination that was associated with it, this was nothing new for our family. We were already well aware of it because we had not participated in any of this for years. So what happened today is that I took my girls into the doctor's office for their regular physical exams. And the way our state law works now, I used to be able to go ahead and sign off on this exemption form myself. I didn't have to get any doctors involved. It was my decision as a parent. But as of, I think it's been about, so it was the year before last, I think it was the beginning of last year when that law went into effect, stating that my kids now, in order for me to have them go back, I have to have a signature on this exemption form from a doctor's office, or I have to go ahead and comply with some modules. And these modules are essentially a lesson that they want you to learn as a parent, where they're going to go over each one of these, and you have to go along and follow along in this module. It's active. They're going to ask questions. It's not something that you could just play and let run and just be done with it. So rather than take up a bunch of my time with indoctrination that I don't care about, I decided to go the route of having the doctors sign off on it. Now, I went through rigmarole last year because it was the first year, and I figured since it was the first year, they weren't used to it. I was going to receive some pushback. I did get the signatures. Now, today, fast forward to today, I took my girls in. I brought the forms with me. I already had them filled out with my bit, and I just needed their signatures. I was told that this was no longer part of their policy and that they were not going to be signing off on those forms for me. And when I asked them, I said, well, can I have a copy of this policy? I said, what are you guys referring to, some policy? And I was given a big blank stare, and I was essentially told that they were not on board with anybody who wanted to have an exemption form for their child because they don't agree with it. And I have to tell you that once that phrase was used, I got a little heated, and I said, I don't care if you agree with it or not. I am the parent. I make the final decisions regarding my children. They are not wards of the state, and therefore it doesn't matter what you think or what you believe, I am allowed that final say, and I say that I'm not okay with these vaccinations and this vaccination schedule. And so therefore, we got into a heated discussion back and forth, and it just kind of devolved into something that is not exactly how I wanted to go about things, but sometimes you have to stand up for yourself. I did not resort to using foul language, but I did go ahead and let them know that they were violating my rights, that they do not get to make this decision, that according to the state of Colorado, I am given the choice. It's not their choice and it's not their decision. I'm giving the choice, and I had to pull up this information on my phone from the state's website and share with them that according to that state website, I am given the decision whether or not I want them to sign off on this or if I want to watch a module and go through that whole thing. And I told them, I'm not doing the module, I want a signature. And so therefore it escalated to where I had to get the actual doctor and speak with the doctor of the practice. But eventually I was given my 2 signatures, and I told them, I said, you guys can go ahead and keep telling me that you're not going to do this, but I will let you know right now that these are my rights. You're discriminating against me. You're violating my rights. And I will go ahead and pursue means necessary to sue you if that's what it takes, because I feel that strongly about it. And as soon as I started pushing back, I was given my 2 signatures, and suddenly the whole language changed. And I just wanted to encourage you guys that they are going to continue trying to push back against us. They are going to continue trying to take our rights. But you have to know what your laws state in your states. You have to know what they are, and you have to be armed with that information when you are presented with these types of situations, because it is imperative that we are able to exercise our rights and use that information to our benefit. They are not allowed to go outside of the parameters of the law. And if there is a policy or a law or something that is in place in your state, and that practice or this institution or whatever it is violating that, then they are the ones that are going to get their butts in a crack, not you. So it is okay for you to stand up for yourself, to do it in a respectful manner, but to assert yourself and say, this is not okay. This is my children. You are not going to have the final say. I am the parent. And this is where I stand, and this is how I'm going to continue to live my life. I don't care what they want to try to go ahead and push through. If it is unlawful and if it is in violation of my rights, then I'm going to push back every time. And we're going to have to keep doing this, and we're going to have to be a united front. Especially, in this community, I know that everybody feels strongly about a lot of these things. And we can't start letting them make us feel like we're boxed in and they have the upper hand. Because they want you to think that, they want you to believe that. And most people would just go away and go ahead and fill out those modules, or they would go ahead and give in and consent and get the vaccinations. But I'm not most people, and I'm not going to back down. And I want to encourage you guys to find your backbone. Don't back down. Know your rights. Do your research. Go in there armed, and just go ahead and take the bull by the horns, and understand that there are those of us out there that are in your corner and that know exactly what you're going through, and that we've been through similar circumstance, and just continue pushing along. I know it's not easy. I know it's a sad situation that you have to constantly be confronted with these sorts of things. We shouldn't have to deal with this in the United States of America, but unfortunately this is the direction that we are going as a country, and we have got to make sure we don't lose any more ground while we still have some to stand on. So I just wanted to share this with you today to give you guys some sort of encouragement to go ahead and keep pushing back against this system. So if you guys have enjoyed this video today, please give me a like, share, and subscribe. And remember to pray, prep, and put God first. God bless.